What's up, followers? I hope you're all having a good day. It's far too hot for me. Again, I'm going to be exploring intertextuality, the subjectivity of it, a little bit of existentialism in relation to intertextuality, and how it can really shape a text, add depth to a text, and also how my own thoughts on how it really shapes us as humans and it surrounds us, and we can't escape from the fact that everything is intertwined. Deep. I'll start by, briefly talking about Julie Christopher. If you don't know about Julie Christopher, I'll just say some of my own thoughts on intertextuality. So Julie Christopher was a Bulgarian philosopher, linguist, and she theorised that every single text is always in dialogue with other texts, both when an author composes it and when a reader reads it. What this means is the fact that we are never reading something entirely new. Our previous memories and understandings of other books always shape our understanding of a new text. And Christopher called this critical perspective intertextuality. Hogenberg reinforced this with texts are mosaics of quotations and never entirely new. They are made up of or connected to earlier texts and traditions, and they continue them. So, what does this mean? It means that you're never reading anything new. Like, when you switch on the TV and watch a film, there's always elements of other films embedded within that. Even the music, a lot of films have got soundtracks from other people to add meaning to that film. Such as, when a really good example, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, Titanic. When you think of that song, it's like, oh, Titanic. And that's an example of really how intertextuality can help art. It was quite a fitting song for the film. I mean, I don't like the film personally, I don't like the music, but a very good example. It aids meaning. It can also cause misunderstanding as well, depending on the situation, and you need a level of understanding of other texts as well, such as there's a book here, Stardust. It wasn't one of my favourite books, but I studied it in depth. Stardust by Neil Gaiman and Charles Vess. It's a graphic novel in the style of a comic. Got fantasy elements, romantic elements, bit erotic elements in it, horror. It's full of allusions to other literary texts. I mean, it opens with a poem from John Donne, an old English poet, and it closes with other intertextual relations. Tori Amos is quite famous. Well, she's a very famous singer. Now, a tree in this book looks very much like Tori Amos. And, you might not think anything of it when you first read the book. But in conjunction with everything else that's going on in this particular book, there's a very strong feminist theme. There's a very strong feminist theme. And there's a underlying sinister theme of male violence against women. When you see that, and then when you have that reference to Tori Amos, I did some research and I found out that Tori Amos was unfortunately a rape survivor, and that opens up a whole new doorway to understandings of why you put that in there. Like, why did he put Tori Amos's face on a tree that's been fallen? Why? It really opens up questions. I mean, another book that I can think of off the top of my head is The Dispossessed by Airshila Guin. I get on with her. I mean, she talks a lot about the human condition, patriarchy. She talks about gender relations, and the idealistic or the ambiguity of utopias. I mean, the author Guin, wrote extensively about 1950s America, and he did so during the Vietnamese War. More importantly is the fact that Airshila Guin actually referenced a lot of Guin's writings in the book. She actually had a person in the book very much modelled like Robert Oppenheimer, who was a physicist during that time. So there's always intertextual relations to other things. You're never reading something new. How does this affect me, you might think? Well, this is my own theory, but it's existentialism, but I don't think you're ever meeting anybody entirely new either. I don't think so. I don't think you can, because you're always shaped by your past memories. You're always shaped by your past experiences, good or bad. When you meet that woman or when you meet that man, you might think, oh, that reminds me of someone else, or that perfume reminds me of so-and-so, or, oh, that's sad, that happened to me. There's always an intertextual relationship, and I don't think you can ever meet someone else, because, like the other day, I met a woman, and she was talking about something, and it just reminded me of something else that happened with another person. There's a parallel between us. You can't, the brain is a sponge. It absorbs everything, and saying that when you're saying that you're meeting someone new, you're saying that I'm starting from a blank canvas. That's what you're saying. That is what you're saying. You're saying I'm starting from a blank canvas, but you're not meeting anyone new. You're not having a new book. When I go and pick up a new book, I'm always shaped by what I've already read. It creates new meaning and understanding, and that's the beauty of life. The subjectivity of that, and it helps. For example, I'm a huge rap fan. You probably know. Tiger, the rapper, he did a song called Light Skin Little Wayne. Hey, that's referencing another rapper, and that's intertextuality just there. Another one I can think of, Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger. That's intertextuality again, That's a song referring to another text to create new meaning. Jagger got a good dance, got a good bum apparently, do you know what I mean? Can move it, moves like Jagger. So they've created a song alluding to someone else, and now they're creating a new meaning. That's the beauty of it. I'm working on an autobiography in the first person at the moment, and I've really done a lot of allusions to other authors. I've put quotes from films. I've put quotes from Marilyn Monroe. I've put quotes from Shakespeare, the Scholar Adorno, Plato, hell of a lot of stuff, and even Coronation Street and stuff. Because why have I done that? You might think, why have I done that? Because I think when you're having one voice, shaping the narrative, I think it can be a bit biased in terms of a reader might think, I want something to make it a bit different. I want it to, how can it connect to me? And intertextual references within a text, I think it can deepen the relationship between the writer and the reader. I think it's like, I can relate to that. I can relate to, that Coronation Street reference or whatever. I don't watch it, by the way. Or, Saw reference. I like Saw films, horrors. It helps understanding, and I think a lot of films and a lot of series are always reworks of other things. There's not, like I said, that you can't make anything entirely new. Nothing's new. Nothing is new. You might want to challenge me on that. You might want to say, well, yeah, I have met someone new. Physically you've met someone new. Mentally, you haven't. Mentally, you've met a new person, but it will be shaped by your past. It will be shaped by, I've had bad experiences with someone similar to this, or, she's a good person, she reminds me of so-and-so, or whatever, or, that perfume's sexy, or whatever it reminds me of that woman, or, that's what it is. It's a subconscious thing, you can't choose it, and that's the beauty of life. I guess it isn't the beauty of life in it as well, but like I said, our brains are sponges. It absorbs and it absorbs and it absorbs. If you're going to say you're going to read something new, you can't start from a blank canvas. And it's the same as meeting people. You can't start from a blank canvas. You're starting from where you already are, which is you've already met thousands of people. So someone else isn't new. That's existentialism, and it's something that I do study. I'm thinking about possibly doing a degree in that. And linguistics as well, because I love it. I love language. I love how it intertwines and shapes everything. I mean, there's an intersection between, psychology, language, memory, fantasy, imagination, and everything. The human condition. I mean, Freud. I mean, he says that the fantastic and the imaginary are the same. I agree. The fantastical. The fantastic. What is it? What is it? It's in there. It's in the mind. And the world is full of beautiful things, and it's important. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, that was a bit of a tangent. That was basically on imagination and fantastic. But anyway, back to intertextuality. Yeah, it shapes everything. And if you're a writer reading this, I mean, it depends on what you want to achieve. If you're writing a basic poem, I mean, there might not be any need for it, but you might choose to, reference Coronation Street because it really creates meaning for the reader. You play around with that language, you make it work for you. There's a hell of a lot of songs I've seen online that always allude to other rappers or allude to other famous people there's a famous song actually, God, what was it called? I've forgotten it. By Bob Dylan, I think it was called Hurricane. That's about, racism and Martin Luther King and stuff like that, so you can't escape it. It's all over. Like, if you take this video and put it on Instagram, or if you take this video and screenshot it and put it in a book or whatever, I mean, that's intertextuality. That's taking something, slightly changing it, or referencing it, and making something new out of it. I'm all for you doing that, I am going to be writing some stuff on intertextuality and the subjectivity of it, and how it relates to existentialism in the broader sense of the word, and how it shapes the human psyche in that sense. I write a lot of research stuff as well, because I'm a bit of a nerd, because on a Saturday and a Sunday, I'd rather be doing research than going out drinking, but that's me as a person, I'm more into that. So what have I told you today about intertextuality? I've so basically said that it's everything everything. Surrounds everything. I mean, computer games, art, clothing. When you wear a slogan, it might have a quote from something else on it, I can think of a really important slogan, just do it. Nike, just do it. And the many books I've read, they've had that slogan, across buildings and stuff. I mean, a very good game is Dishonored. They have a hell of a lot of Shakespeare references in Dishonored. You might miss them if you're not well read on Shakespeare, but I'm okay. I'm quite well read on Shakespeare, and I picked them up, and it just changes the narrative. It makes it so sinister. And there's also some, Plato references in it as well. It makes the whole game sinister when you're playing it, because you can tell something's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. Look out for it. Look out for references, because you're never reading something new. You're always reading, like Hogenberg said, quotations of a mishmash of other texts. It's all recycled. Even what I'm writing is recycled, because I'm using memories of other texts to shape my new texts, if you understand that. So yeah, it's been nice exploring intertextuality, and I'm going to be doing some more writing on it, because I've got my own theories on how it affects the human condition. If you're not interested in, academic stuff, skip these videos, you know what I'm saying? It's too late now, comes the end of the video. But yeah, it's been nice exploring these subjects, and have a lovely day. Thank you for watching if you have. It's probably deep stuff for a few people, but, if you understand it, brilliant. And I'd like your thoughts on it as well, and how do you think it affects memory, and how do you think it affects new people. But yeah, it's been nice exploring it, and I'll talk about it again soon, because I love it. Alright, have a nice day. It's been Michelle. Adios.